So recently I had someone approach me and say, look, I just want to be high ticket.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's fine. That's a buzzword. What is high ticket?
Yeah.
So she said to me, oh, you know, I just want to be premium. I said, you know, if someone wants to work with me, I challenge them to go deeper. What is premium?
Yes.
Let's have a look at that. And it doesn't want you to charge someone 10K just because you want to be premium.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just understanding where on that product ladder.
Yeah.
So product ladder or service ladder is, if this person needs support at that level, how many of those people can you serve?
That's it. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about really understanding that. And for me, it's, you know, it's about mapping that process. Okay, it will take me this amount of time for that output. How many of those can you do? And that's, Pam, exactly as you said, some of the goals are rather lofty and the process hasn't even been thought about.
Hey there, welcome to the Lucrative Lady Talk Show with me, your host, Pam Obasa. I'm so excited to welcome you back. Now, if you have been watching all of the episodes across season 2, I want to say a massive, massive thank you. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Now, are you in the digital marketing space, or do you want to get into digital marketing? Or perhaps you have a skill and you're thinking, Pam, how do I monetize this skill? How do I create a business out of my passion, out of my expertise, or out of my experiences? Or perhaps you already run a business and you are thinking, how do I scale that business? Well, my guest on the show today is the amazing Katrina Young, who is a consultant who does exactly this. She helps you to package your passion into a business. So Katrina's on the couch with me and we are going to be talking all about this. Welcome, Katrina.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Welcome to the studio. Do you like it?
I love it. It's beautiful. Trying to keep up your energy. You're amazing. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kat. So let's talk about this. This is your favorite subject. So, you know, this is what we can just talk about all day long.
Love it.
Right. Let's talk about monetizing your skill. Now, when did you get into digital marketing?
So digital marketing was really when social media emerged. I'd always been in marketing.
Yeah.
Well, I started in 2004. I started out as a usability tester.
Okay.
So I was employed to try and break things.
To try and break things?
To try and break things with software.
I love that.
Yeah, just really understanding why people are motivated to buy.
Yes.
So I worked with Coots, Hamleys, Tefal, any companies that really wanted to understand what our consumers.
Yes.
And then when digital came out, I kind of transitioned.
Yeah.
Obviously still doing that, but really looking at how people like you and I, with expertise, could monetize themselves.
Absolutely.
So,
Now, how did you move from now I'm working for these companies to actually I'm going to do it myself, because that's essentially what we're telling our lucrative ladies to do. So how did you do it?
So for me, it was really analysing and looking at gap analysis for myself, because I did it for companies.
Yeah. And
I think that most people they underestimate exactly what they know. So the first task I would really say is to have a look at your curriculum vitae, your CV.
Right.
And just have a look at what you do, because we underestimate the steps that and the transformation that we do for others.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I can't tell you how many people I talk to.
Yes.
And it's like, Pam, I talk to people all day long.
I know.
And I give my stuff away for free.
Absolutely.
And I'm just like, well, that thing that you're giving away for free, if there is transformation in that, that's where your money is.
Absolutely. So I say to companies and to individuals, when they're at that stage, Google is effectively a search engine.
That's right.
So having a look at your curriculum vitae and searching your kind of core attributes and have a look at where that ranks, they'd be so surprised. So basically looking at that and then understanding what markets can they work in, what can they do, and really just looking at a gap. So it's also always about identifying there is an audience.
Yeah.
Because many people think they have a business and a skill and it's literally an idea.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Sometimes when working with companies and individuals, I'm just like, are we certain this is an idea, that there's actually a market for it?
Yeah.
And so it's testing it and piloting
Brilliant.
it. Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Yes.
How does one know that, you know, I have an idea?
Yes.
Because they would come to you and they would say, Kat, I have an idea, or Pam, I have an idea that I want to turn into a business. How does one know on their own? Let's say they're not working with either of us, but they're trying to figure out, is this a money-making idea?
Yes.
What are some of the clues that we need to be looking out for?
So the first things I say to people is conduct desk research. It's
Okay.
always important before you invest any money.
Yeah.
Because like everyone's like, I've got an idea, and it's, you know, I'm gonna throw their savings at it, and I'm just like, test the market.
Okay.
So the first things I say to someone is to have a look in the Google search engine.
Yes.
Put it in there. Now, Google's an amazing, marvelous tool that most people don't use to its benefit.
And it's free.
It's free, and
Come
I always
on.
say this.
Yeah.
So people are investing money in Google Ads all the time, and I only actually kind of knew this. I run Google Ads for some of major global brands.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is those suggestions at the bottom is what people are actually putting money and traffic behind. So Google's done some of the homework for you.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, as you know, you're typing in the search engine and the search box says, it starts to predict.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it does that and gives suggestions, it's indicating something else.
Right.
Another great tool that I use is you're looking at the topic or the area, and you want to understand, are there any core, like, do you need to be accredited in this area?
Right.
Or are there any core, you know, accompanying topics that will be helpful?
Yes.
So something like Ask the Public is a great tool.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, and it will give you subtopics, and essentially that's what you're looking for.
Yes.
And most people, like yourself, will be doing that kind of journey when they're looking for you anyway.
Yeah. No, exactly.
So that's what I'd say. The next thing would be looking at any keywords.
Yeah.
So because you and I are business owners, we're looking at things like this.
Yeah.
But essentially, you want to have a look in YouTube to find out how many people are searching for this.
That's right. Yeah.
How many people are searching for this. Once you've got that,
Yeah.
if there's a demand for it,
Yeah.
you just look at how you can package that
Yes.
into a product or service.
Which is the easier part.
It really is.
I
as
know.
you and I know.
Yes, as
It
we
is.
know.
Yes.
You get to a stage where it
Yeah.
becomes really easy. But
Absolutely.
the crazy thing about what you've just described, which is
Yes.
the foundation, the groundwork,
Yeah.
is that it sounds so simple and so basic
I know.
that most people don't do
They
it.
forget to do that. And
Yes.
so as a caveat, I always say when someone's come to me is, how much time have you researched, invested, you know,
Yeah.
into this? Some are like, I've just spent my life savings, I've just bought loads of products and
Yeah.
stuff for 5,000. And so I'm always like, don't ever escape the core work.
Yeah.
So that is a prerequisite when I'm working with someone.
Yes.
I want to identify whether they're in the long game.
Yeah.
I always ask them to start with the end in mind.
Yes, that's
because
right.
most people are not looking at exit or, you know, productizing this.
Yeah.
So that's the main things that I would say.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about productizing, because that
Yes.
is really where a lot of people go when they come to somebody like you or I,
Yeah.
where they go from, I have an idea,
Yeah.
or I'm already doing this and it's not
Yeah.
working. What they're really trying to say is,
Yeah.
I don't have a lucrative avenue for this.
Absolutely.
Right. So the idea is stuck in their head, and
Yeah.
you're right, they're absolutely investing, but
Yeah.
they don't have an avenue. They don't have any products. They don't have any packages. They don't have any processes. They have nothing that
They have
actually
none.
converts
No.
into
No,
cash.
exactly.
So can we just talk, share
Yes.
with our lucrative ladies, what are some of the ways that in this online space, let's call it
Yes,
online,
yes,
because
yes.
it's such a wide space,
It is.
that you can actually turn an idea or something into a money-making venture?
Into a money-making thing. So, as you know, like, you've done amazing with your digital products and planners. So for myself, I kind of try to really look at licensing. So the things I'm
Nice.
talking about are the things that I've done personally.
Yeah.
Depending on your market, again, you want to look at what's been penetrated, what there's a demand for. You know, and for me, sometimes it does benefit you doing a little bit more extra work.
Yes.
As you know, if there's low barrier to entry, it means the market's going to be saturated.
Yes.
And you've got lots of people shouting. So
Yeah.
it's worth doing that extra work. So for me, digital things that I've done are ebooks, software,
Yeah.
books, given the royalty rights. I've been not missing for the last few months, but I've been doing a lot of ghostwriting.
Yeah.
So it's looking at how you can maybe be a tool to other people in your industry. So some people make it more harder
Yeah.
than it actually is. And for me, it's really identifying what is your skill set,
Yeah.
how much do you want to invest, and not just money, time.
Yes. Yeah.
And can you outsource? Can you find someone else to do it for you?
Yes.
And then looking at, what income, because most people at the idea stage are not thinking, what income can I make from this?
Which is so bizarre. I mean, you're trying to start a business.
They
surely.
don't look at it being profitable. They just think, oh, I've got this idea.
Yeah.
And in some instances, what I say now, unless I can attribute it to a daily rate, I don't want to invest time.
Right.
And that's where I've got.
Yeah.
But like, you know, that some people will spend all week creating a £5 download.
Yes.
And this is it. So it's about understanding what you can transfer from physical skills to a digital skill, because then you can reach one to many.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And just on that note, on you know, spending all week and you create a £5 product. Yeah. Now, there are two ways of looking at it. One way is it's a £5 product, but if you have other products behind that.
Exactly.
Which is where, you know, having, you know, obviously somebody show you the way then comes in. If you have other products behind it, that £5 product could lead to a 5K product, which is where we talk about scaling.
Exactly.
So let's talk about that very quickly.
Yeah.
A lot of people watching this are in the digital marketing space. They are either coaches and consultants. They have some sort of product, or they're in the mix of creating it. But we all know, Kat, and this is what a lot of people don't talk about.
I know.
That the money isn't made on the front end.
It really isn't. It's always in the middle.
That's right.
Being in the middle of the funnel is my core area, to be honest. So as you and I both know, we're in the funnel space.
Yes.
I don't hang out at the front anymore. I'm all about data, metrics and analytics. I really believe in having a data-driven business. You know, I'm a geek when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. What most people do is they sit at the front and think, I think my audience want this, and they go away and create it. Yeah. The danger in that is that they're wasting time. They're presuming their market, which is always a mistake.
Yes.
And so I look at what the data's looking at. What are the metrics saying? Yeah. What is the analysis indicating? Now, for one client, we just looked at this, and she was spending so much money on a market that wasn't even looking at her.
Oh dear. So
this is why I'm saying data-driven means that if your audience are in Australia, are you even providing your service at a time that suits them? Are you providing the adequate language?
Yes.
The keywords? And are you providing the adequate terminology for them? Yeah. So it's about making sure that you look at the data and be driven by that before you go away and create a product.
Brilliant. So what kind of data should they be looking at?
So for me, it's simple things like looking at your insights. How many hits are people looking at? Yeah. If you've put a live stream video out, what are people saying? Are they engaging? Do they like that topic? You get it. I love your questions, you know. Clickbait, is it working? Yeah. You know what I mean? And for me, the best way to do these kind of things, just with minimal input or even money, is just testing and piloting. Yes. So often, for me, I'm not saying that done is better than perfect, but get perfect later. Yes. I always use the analogy that Apple's never a whole product. Every week, every month, they release an update.
An update, that's right.
Absolutely, so we should do the same. Yes. So for me, pilot, test it out, check on your audience, re-engage your old audience, do the ask campaign like you and I do. Yeah. What do you want? Yeah. How do you want it? Test this out. Yes, and that leads me to just speaking about, you know, testing out organically, which is really what you're talking about. Absolutely. Before you sink thousands of pounds or dollars into your marketing spend that you probably don't have just sitting there. Absolutely. Test organically. So, Kat, can we quickly just talk about how to do that test? Like, what are some of the ways that you have tested before you've now discovered, oh, I should go in this direction? If we can use some examples. So one example is, and this is, so I'll give an example for someone beginning. So for someone beginning, you may just have something like a survey, or you may just ask someone, I'm going to go back a step. When people are starting out, they never think of things like tracking. Yes. So if they start looking at tracking, they can find out who's opening these things. Yes. Or, you know, if they haven't set anything like that up, just asking, you know, do you know someone that would be interested in this? Mm-hmm. Simple things. So I use something called the Ask campaign. Yes. So I remember 2 years ago, and many people kept inboxing me saying, that post was so helpful. I was doing like a poll because I was being mentored by a mentor, but I didn't have the time to go out to a broad audience. Right. So I thought, I'm going to use the people around me. So I asked the questions. So just ask people questions. Yes. And just like you do this extremely well. Once they answer, ask them why. Yes. Or how they would use it. Yes. Why are they answering that way? So
this is on social media?
Social media, by newsletter. Yes. Do it face to face. I mean, there are times you can use direct mail.
Yeah.
You can do written business cards. I think what I would like to stress is that most people have this block and this fear because they're trying to do all the things. And actually what they should try to do is utilize the tools, the audience, the people, wherever they are.
Yes.
So that's my biggest thing. I'm always using people where they are. If you're a mum at school starting the business, use the other mums. Print something out.
Yeah.
If you're working in an office, exiting your 9 to 5, use your peers. Just make sure you have permission.
Yeah.
It's just, it really is beneficial. I think that we are in an age where we are bombarded with so much data, so much things.
Yes.
So try to help people to get that information back.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like you said, because we are bombarded by so much
it's got to
in the
be
media.
good.
It's got to be good. It's do your due diligence and do it properly, because if you're going to make noise, let it be the best noise.
Let it be the best noise.
Yeah.
And actually, what I've also, as a precursor to that, sometimes noise is just that.
Yeah.
And at the moment, I'm doing something at the moment with my clients is challenging them to go deeper.
Right.
So my questions at the moment is why? Why are you doing that?
Right.
And they're like, oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But I think we ought to ask ourselves what we're doing, because subconsciously we're just reacting, and actually sometimes that removes the steps.
Yes.
So for me, it's just challenging myself to think, okay, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
What could I do better?
Yes.
So, yes.
I want to be more specific in terms of income brackets, because a lot of people watching this, one of the ways to think about which way should you go is to think, which income bracket do you want to move to?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's just talk about, if you are a person who is moving from, let's say you are doing, a couple of grand a month in your business comfortably, but you really want to move it to that consistent, let's say 20K per month.
Yeah, so when I agree. I think when I was at the point where I was making 4 figures, the activity was really active. I wasn't leveraging resourcing. Like we said, I was thinking like the grass as operational and not strategic like the trees in the sky. And so as I then moved to wanting to do the multi 5 figures, it's a mindset shift.
Yes.
It's understanding, for me, employing things like technology and innovation to scale and deliver some of you, basically. My goal is to move to the deeper 6 and 7 figures for myself.
We're talking per month, aren't we?
Per year, for me, in one business model. I think in different ways, and I think that most people, they're just thinking of an idea in a business. In my mind, I want a sustainable business.
Right.
And to me, and I always say this to my clients, is that you go into John Lewis and it's never just the door or just one product on the shelf.
That's right.
And so you've got to think, how long do you want to be around? Are you serving all of your audience and market if you've just got one product?
Yes.
So it's really, it's understanding that you need different tools, personally and professionally, in order to get to those income brackets.
So what you're saying is you need a suite of products.
I totally believe in a suite of products. That's where I've moved to. I've been very heavily in product development and self-development. Yeah. One thing that I think that people don't realise is when you employ technology and automation, you can go from 0 to something really quickly.
Oh my God,
Right?
Yeah.
And so for me, the mindset of this is, where do you then invest that? What do you do? So in my mind, that should move from it should move into productivity and assets.
Yes.
You should have more assets serving your business and working for you, as opposed to you. So,
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened to us.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
At first, it was a lot of grind,
there you go.
a lot of live streaming, a lot of posting, just a lot of stuff that if I don't do it, it won't happen.
It won't happen.
When we moved into creating products and then marrying that with automation.
Absolutely.
Like you said, you went from 0 to a very significant monthly sum, a 5-figure monthly sum. In a very short space of time.
And I wish that people would understand that it can be done. It feels like it's outside of you. And I think it's just adapting and adopting the technology or the automation to whatever you do.
But that is the biggest block though, Kat.
It is. It really is.
There are so many people in the space who want to DIY their way to the top.
I know.
Right? So what would you say to that? Because I meet so many people, I'm just like, you have these massive goals.
I know.
Money goals, but there is no way under the sun that those goals are going to be realised if you continue to do this.
Absolutely. And I think what I've done recently is understand 2 things. I don't have enough products for those to serve that audience where they are. So you can do two things. You can only offer a premium service. So recently I had someone approach me and say, look, I just want to be high ticket.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's fine. That's a buzzword. What is high ticket?
Yeah.
So she said to me, oh, I just want to be premium. I said, if someone wants to work with me, I challenge them to go deeper. What is premium?
Yes.
Let's have a look at that. And it doesn't want you to charge someone 10K just because you want to be premium.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just understanding where on that product ladder.
Yeah.
So product ladder or service ladder is, if this person needs support at that level, how many of those people can you serve?
That's it. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's about really understanding that. And for me, it's, it's about mapping that process. Okay, it will take me this amount of time for that output. How many of those can you do? And that's, Pam, exactly as you said, some of the goals are rather lofty and the process hasn't even been thought about.
And people don't realise the stats that you need.
Absolutely.
If you're going to do a 10K package, how many people do you need to speak to to close one person?
Exactly, Pam, exactly that. And I think for me, what then happens is their mindset gets affected. And so just like me, just like you said, for me, it's how many conversations do I have to have? Another thing as well, what I've found is having that discipline and perseverance. I used to network a lot. I went to an event recently, someone was like, I haven't seen you for almost, and I was like, you're right. I try to make things deliberate. I understand that within my business, I'm the main attraction factor. So my friends, I choose social time instead of being reactive. If you're having a digital business, it's about being very disciplined. If someone called me before, I may have been reactive. If it's not scheduled, it's not happening. So it's about understanding those things. Okay, what do you need to do to hit that income goal? And like you said, how are you building daily sales activities? I've moved into building a small call centre and doing business development. That's my focus because I know I can scale more. And that supports scaling activity and not building. As you know, you need different things at building, growing and scaling.
That's right.
So that's what it is for me.
Brilliant. Kat, I want to ask you, when it comes to scaling your business, what are your 5 rules of success for someone who's trying to... yes, of course you can. For someone who's trying to move from... Let's say they're trying to hit the 6 figures, so they want to do a consistent 10K and above per month. What are your top 5 rules for success?
Okay, so I did write some, but even thinking about it, so gap analysis is really important for me. Understanding the gaps in the market, being quick to respond to those and keeping your eyes on projections and market trends and understanding that. The biggest one for me is hire your weakness. So many entrepreneurs get stuck in the space of doing all the things. And actually for me, I have this internal filter now. Someone approaches me, there's so much noise in the market. Kat, this is brilliant. And I'm like, will this work for me now? Do I need it?
That's it.
So it's having that filter and maybe a scoring criteria as to whether you need it now. As I said to you before, don't think like the grass. As you scale, it warrants different requirements personally and professionally. So that's, do you need to upgrade your mindset? I kind of knew I was in a room where I was in the room with lots of people doing the same things. If you're the most intelligent person in the room, you need to shift. And honestly, when I was in a room with billionaires and millionaires, I felt very small. But it warranted me to step up and read more. So again, it's education. Never stop learning. Always update your knowledge. The minute that you think you know it all is to be, because the word educate means to undo. So it's to undo and continue.
That's right.
That's mine. And then it's the data and metrics. Never ignore data. Don't presume you know what your market knows. Worst thing is just moving on and making sure that you understand your data, your metrics. And again, having someone come into the business that does understand that.
Yes, absolutely. I love all of those. My favourite is definitely hire your weakness.
Good.
And I want to add to that, hire your weakness and hire your goal.
Absolutely.
Hire your goal.
Like you say, I mean, I saw the shift in you and I see the shift in me is that when I have experts, I always say this, when you see someone come online, you have forums. Now people will complain and say, oh, I hired this person, they weren't good. Now, to me, the quality of the output is always as good as the quality of the question. So making sure that you have SOPs or the question, just if you're hiring your weakness, make sure you know what the output is that you want.
Yes.
you know, the desired goal or
Absolutely. So important. And on that topic about data, knowing what type of data you need to look at.
And how you translate that. I think I could honestly say that I could speak to many business owners, maybe yourself and myself, and they don't even have diarytized when to take those outputs or the data or metrics out.
They have nothing to track those data. So these are really key things that will help you to, honestly, to scale to 50K month. It's done that for us. To scale, you've got to look at those data. You've got to hire. You've got to expand all the time.
You do.
And, you know, on that topic of just shutting down and letting go of all the noise on social media.
It's been the biggest thing for me.
Me too. Because if you keep bouncing,
honestly,
it's so much energy, even to turn down opportunities. It's energy in and of itself.
I must be honest. I think the biggest transition for me is I'm identifying that not every opportunity is an opportunity. Sometimes it's a distraction.
That's right.
And for me, it's like, okay, that may work for them, but based on my resources, knowledge and time, that may not work for me. So it's really identifying, you know, is this going to take me where I need to go? If not, mute.
Bye-bye. Mute. I like that. Mute.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that's it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Kat. It's just been incredible having you on the show today. Now, if my viewers want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me at www.katrinayoungconsulting.com.
Very easy.
And Katrina Young Digital, Consulting Digital. Yeah, I think so.
Make sure you get it to us, and I think we have it actually. We'll pop it on the screen and in the description.
Thanks for having me. That was really fun.
Brilliant. Thanks. Thank you so much, lucrative ladies, for watching now. It has been incredible having Kat here and talking about not just building your business, but scaling it, which is where you really want to be. So I highly, highly recommend that you look out for Kat. Go and find her, go and talk to her. And of course, there is nothing that will shift in your business until you take action. That is the biggest and most important thing. So there you have it. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do, because it helps us to grow and helps us to get our message out to more people so that they can continue to grow their lucrative business. Thank you so much. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.